Hi guys, and welcome to our third ever episode of WLHW. Today is October 21st, and your first segment today is going to be World News with Grace. Take it away, Grace.
Welcome to the third segment of Global News. I'm Grace, and each week I'll be giving you the scoop. The election is getting closer and closer. Polling stations and mail-in ballots have been open to the public for quite a few weeks, but Election Day is coming. Election Day is a national holiday that is the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November. So if you can vote, register to vote and use mail-in voting or go to your local polling station. Speaking of the election, tomorrow night the last presidential debate will be taking place at 9 p.m. So if you can, don't forget to tune in and watch. It'll be on most news channels, and if you can't, don't forget to check out clips right here on YouTube after the debate. A couple weeks ago, we talked about the socially distant concerts, and this week we're all about what Halloween is looking like this year. No one really knows yet, and it's hard to be certain, but someone out there made a pretty cool adjustment to keep Halloween going this year. Let's take a look. This is someone who made a candy chute to keep 6 feet apart. The trick-or-treater stands at the bottom of the chute with their bucket underneath, and the candy giver sends a piece down the shuttle. You could say this is spooktacular. That's the scoop for today, Wildcats. See you next time on Global News.
Thanks for the news, Grace. Now we're going on to our next segment of the day, your favorite riddle segment, and the only riddle segment, but that doesn't make it any less great, Riddles with Giselle.
Hey Wildcats! The answer to last week's riddle was a keyboard. This week's riddle is, who's that with a neck, no head, 2 arms, no hands? If you think you know, email Mr. Groff at agroff@k12alma.org. I'll see you next week with Riddle of the Week.
Now we're going on to your favorite sports segment, Sports Facts with Gavin, or sports updates. I don't really follow sports much, so I'm just going to let Gavin do the explaining.
Hello everyone, and this is your weekly sports report. Today we have World Series Game 2 for the MLB. Tomorrow we have Thursday Night Football, which is the Eagles versus Giants for the NFL. Friday, there's sadly no sports. Saturday, there's college football all day. Sunday is the same thing, but with the NFL. Now back over to Luke.
Thanks, Gavin. Now we're going on to our favorite cooking segment, What's in the Kitchen with Olivia.
Hi, I'm Olivia, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make homemade popcorn. First, you want to take a pot that has a top on it that will suit the amount of kernels you want to use. Next, you want to take less than 1/4 of a cup and pour it in. Next, you want to take 1/2 cup of popcorn kernels and pour it in. Next, you want to place the pot over the burner and turn it on to low heat and put the top on until you get desired effect. Pour it into a bowl and then let it cool and then eat.
Now we head to the best tech segment in the land, Tech Tips with Mr. Groff.
Hey, you awesome Wildcats. Here is your tech tip of the week from this old guy, Mr. Groff. Okay, so some of you never close your browsers, and that makes it easier to quickly go back to tabs, quickly resume work. So I understand why you don't, but that can prevent your Chrome browser or any other browser really from updating, because they usually do it automatically when you close it. So if your Chrome is out to date and you're getting warning signs, what you can do is open a browser like here, and you will come up to the top where you have the 3 dots or ellipses. There also might be an arrow here. So select that and go down to Settings. Once you're in Settings, you can come over to the left-hand side over Settings and select the 3 lines that might be here in case you don't see this menu. Once this menu pops up, select About Chrome, and it will check to see if you're up to date. If you're up to date, then you're all set. Everything should work great. If not, it will start loading, and then you'll be able to refresh it with a button that appears right here. So my friends, that is your tech tip of the week. Keep your Google Chrome up to date so your computer functions well. If you ever need any help, make sure you reach out to one of your teachers or the ACPS service desk. See y'all later. Now let's head back out over to that main desk.
Now we're heading on to a brand new segment, Weather Massively, by Alyssa Vetrova.
Hello Wildcats and welcome to Natural Disaster News. I am your host Alyssa Vetrova and let's fly into this. Disasters are happening everywhere, so let's take a look at a few of them. The wildfires in the western half of the United States are still going on, and so far this year, fires in Oregon, Washington, and California have burned some 3 million hectares, marking the West Coast's worst fire season in at least 70 years. And because we are nearing the end of hurricane season, which, by the way, if you didn't know, started on June 1st and will end on November 30th, I am more than convinced that we will get at least one more hurricane or tropical storm this season. Now let's get into how hurricanes are named. Hurricanes are named to avoid confusion with scientists. Each year, the scientists come up with 21 names for the hurricanes that will occur that season, and the names repeat every 6 years. But if there is a devastating and destructive hurricane, the hurricane name is removed from the list and a new one is added, because repeating a deadly hurricane name would be inappropriate. And in some cases, if there are more than 21 named hurricanes and tropical storms in that season, the rest of the hurricanes will be named Greek letters. This year is one of those cases. Because there were so many hurricanes and tropical storms this year, the scientists started naming them Greek letters. That means that there were hurricanes Alpha, Beta, Gamma, and of course we all know the most recent hurricane, Hurricane Delta, which made landfall on Lake Charles, Louisiana. So that means if we get any more hurricanes, the next two will be named Epsilon and Zeta. That's all I have for you, Wildcats. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you on the next episode of Natural Disaster News.
Thanks, Alyssa, for that massively awesome weather segment. Now we are going to head over to one of my personal favorite segments, History of the Week with Emma Black. Emma, tell me something interesting.
Hey everyone, I'm back for the On This Week in History fact. 100 years ago this year, there was a pandemic happening, very much like the one we are in the midst of today. The pandemic outbreak was an illness called the Spanish flu. The Spanish flu lasted for 2 years, from February 1918 until April 1920. Around 500 million people, which was around 1/3 of the world's population, died from this outbreak. On October 19, 1918, a public service announcement was advised in order to help prevent the Spanish flu. This is what the public notice stated. Notice is hereby given that in order to prevent the spread of Spanish influenza, all schools, public and private, churches, theaters, moving picture halls, pools, rooms, and other places of amusement and lodge meetings are to be closed until further notice. All gatherings of 10 or more people are to be prohibited. Even though this was published 102 years ago, it could be read to sound like what we experienced in early 2020 for the coronavirus outbreak.
Thank you for those awesome facts that fill my brain with knowledge. Now, I think Grace Whitaker has something pretty interesting to tell us. Grace?
Hey Wildcats, I'm here to remind you that next week is Walton Wildcat Spirit Week. That means you'll get to dress up according to each day's theme, which include Pajama Day, Walton Wildcat Colors Day, and Halloween Costume Day. Then smile for the camera in your advisory, and each advisory will compete to see whose dress is the best. Don't forget to check out all of the themes and which day they're on to participate in your advisory. That's all I've got for you, Wildcats. See you next time.
Well, friends, that is all we have for you today. And in case we don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.